So yeah, we're good.
Okay, I'm good.
Loose. Okay. Hi, my name is Paul, and welcome to episode 4 of our Product Deep Dive series. We are here at our Research and Development Center in Cebu, Philippines, and I am joined by our Managing Director, Paul Tozer. Paul?
Hi, Paul. Long time no see.
Always pleasure to see you, Paul.
Thank you.
So, Paul, for episode 1, we talked about our laser beam shutters.
Yep.
In episode 2, we looked at our laser interlock system with the ICS-9 controller. In episode 3, we explored our control and laser monitoring system, what we call COM. And now we're talking about MULEX.
Okay.
So, as always, we should start with the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Paul, what is MULEX?
So MULEX is a multi-lab expansion module. So this is something we developed. Again, we developed it here in Cebu in our R&D center, and we developed this to address a specific situation which is very, very common, which is where you have one large laser lab, and it's divided into two by a dividing curtain, and you have two laser interlock systems. So you can use the lab separate, but it's very common that people want to have that in that situation. They want to be able to use it either as two separate labs or as one large lab. So you can pull the curtain back and have it as one large lab, or you can pull the curtain over, have it interlocked, and use it as two separate labs.
Right.
So we developed MULEX, the MULEX module, multi-lab expansion module, specifically for that, to address that situation.
Yes.
Okay.
And it obviously integrates into our interlock system, right?
Yeah.
But how does it work? How would you integrate it into our interlock system?
So it's a module that just plugs into the ICS-9.
Okay.
So it goes goes inside the ICS-9, plugs into the motherboard, and it's as simple as that. And then the wiring's a little bit different.
Okay.
But one of the reasons we developed it is to massively simplify the wiring.
Yes.
And the other thing about the MULEX is it can work for one lab when it's divided into two, but also, which is the most common situation. It's very common. We come across it all the time. We've been doing it for like 25 years, but we developed MULEX to make it simpler. But you've also, when you've got one large lab that's divided into 2, 3, 4, or 5. So MULEX can work with up to 5 labs. Okay. It's only 2 modes. So basically labs joined or labs separate. But it addresses that situation. We have other ways of doing it where you can, because if you've got 5 labs, you've got 2 to the power 4, different combinations of possible lab configurations, which is 16. So we have other ways of addressing that using Safety Logic Plus and other types of system.
Okay. So I'm curious to know, Paul, without MULEX, if we haven't developed this product, what would be how would a traditional setup would be like? For example, if you have one large lab and you want to divide into 3 labs now. So what was the traditional way, and what's the difference now that is with MULEX?
Yeah, so as I said, we've been doing that kind of setup for more than 25 years. And the way we used to do it was with large switches, basically, very large switches, which would switching, like I say, I don't remember specifically one system we did in the early days which had a 32 pole switch, so it's switching 32 separate circuits, whereas now we just have like a 2-pole switch to change modes, and all of the rest of the switching is done internally in the MULEX module, and this really simplifies the wiring.